we should be thinking about is more specific to our idea of getting a job, and that is the rule of three, which is achievement. How do we know that we've achieved something? Can somebody tell me how we know we've achieved something?
It pays money.
Okay, that's one way, that's one measure. But what else?
Set a goal.
We set a goal, yes. What else? In this cycle here, the first thing we have to do with an achievement is say what it is. Okay? We have to say, I want to make X amount of money, all right? Not more or less. I want to make $100 or $200 or $1,000 or $500,000, okay? We have to set a goal. Because without that goal, we're just out in the wilderness. Anything could come. We say, yeah, well, I'll try that. Maybe that will get me to the $500 that I want, okay? That's what leads to a lot of breakdown in what we are doing, and we lose focus. So the first thing we have to always do is identify the goal. And in identifying the goal, we then have to say, we have to measure it. How do we know, as we said, we've got a certain amount of money, we set a goal. All right, we set this goal, but how do we know we're moving towards it? Okay? Part of the experience that you're going through right now is you've all set yourselves goals. Maybe they're not as clear as you might want them to be, but you've set yourself a goal to get a job or find out about a job situation, okay? And this is one of the things that you're doing. You've come here to see what information you can get that can help you move towards your goal, yes? So you are measuring it. At the end of this session here, you should come out with at least 2 contacts. Ideally 3 contacts, because as we will find out later, you will make more contacts in these kind of job connection groups than you will in a lot of other places, okay? So one of the things that you should be setting your goal for getting up so early, coming here, is to connect. There is somebody in this room here that can give you the connection to the job that you're looking for. And I want you to really think about that and make the effort to network with people, because this is one of your best opportunities, okay? Because everybody is focused on this, okay? So you've got to measure it. You measure it by giving yourself steps toward, towards the goal that you've set. Then the hardest thing, particularly as we get older, is if it doesn't work out, we got to change. Again, I'll give you another example. I was in the civil engineering business for a long time, 20-odd years. Had a house, got my mortgage, running around in my Mercedes, sending my kid to school. Everything was just beautiful, all right? I come from a cold, cold country. Believe me, California is paradise on earth. Every day I wake up, I say, thank God I'm in California, you know? I can even put up with some of the people because the weather's so nice, okay? So when I went back to England the first time, I've been here a few years, and I just said, oh, I'm in California. It was like, oh, gosh, can I touch you? You're from California. It's incredible. The idea, you know, people in most regular lives outside of this environment suffer. It's just how it is, okay? And one of the things that, so I came over here and I've been in the civil engineering business. I got out of it, I got into my own little sort of consulting business. Then I got a job with San Rafael Public Works. I was 58 at the time. And I said, all right, this is it, I'll retire here. It's a cushy little number. Cushy is an English term for very easy. Right? And San Rafael, beautiful place. They gave me a car. I drove around. Marin's just beautiful. You know, it's just one of the true beautiful places in the world. You know? And so I could drive around. I didn't have to pay for gas. I had a car and everything. And I thought, how can I be so lucky? This is just wonderful. I'm in the richest county, one of the richest counties in the world. All right, which it is. All right, the amount of people that live there and the money and all that stuff. So I'm there for about a year and a half, you know, doing my job and everything, loving the situation. Then the boss calls me up one day and I'm ready to give him my report and everything. He says, Ian, I'm sorry, we're going to have to lay you off. I'm thinking, this is a government job, you can't lay me off. You know, I'm entitled to, I've worked, you know, how can you lay me off? But I said, okay. And I actually said to him, it's a blessing in disguise. I like to say stuff like that to boost up my confidence in moments of absolute abject misery. But so I struggled out of there, and they actually, you know, trolled me out of there. I had to take my bags, and literally that moment, I don't know if you've ever had that experience, it is not nice, and I wouldn't recommend it. But to be told, you go in ready to do the work and everything, and within the hour, they're kicking you out, and you've got to take all your bags and walk out, all right? And I was taking a bus at that point. I had to wait for 2 hours for the bus to come. So I'm standing out there, you know, 100 yards from the office with these bags, and everybody I work with were driving by and saying, oh man, you know, it's really tough, you know, really tough, you know. Long story short, I was suddenly put in a situation where I had to say, I've got to be flexible here, I've got to do something else. I mean, you know, I'm a young man, you know, there's life ahead of me, you know, I'm not giving up on this. So I decided, I'm thinking, well, I can get into the solar energy business because, hey, you know, this is the up-and-coming thing. There were some programs that I could get some help with. So I took this program, got all the paperwork, got my certificate and everything, decided, all right, go out and get there. I can sell myself, I go to all these companies, and they said, sorry, no, we're not taking anybody. Or it's all very technical. They have organizations now where it's all done on computer and that kind of thing. So there wasn't this sort of hands-on, they didn't want experience, they just wanted people to sort of process this stuff, okay? After about a month of that, I figured, man, this is not working, you know? This isn't fair. I mean, I'm a good guy, I've worked, I've done all this stuff. I realized I had to get over that. Nothing is fair in life unless you make it so, okay? So I decided I'd do it myself. So I went out, got my cards, you know, I started putting them out in houses in my area, telling them that I would do all the weathering projects and show them how to secure their places and everything. Another month went by, nothing happened. I'm thinking, Jesus, you know what? And I'm working hard at this. I'm not waiting for, you know, a handout or anything like that. I'm here trying to get something going, you know. Plus I have bills, you know, that are on top of me. So finally I decided, well, what I've always wanted to do is teach. But I've always not wanted to teach because all my friends who are teachers hate it because it's just a real hard and, you know, it's a luckless kind of occupation, you know. But I liked it. I've done it in West Africa, I've done it, I volunteered to do it here in California. And every time I was in that situation, I just loved it. But then I thought, well, how am I going to make money out of this? I said, all right now, Ian, all you've got is what you feel, and what you feel you're good at, okay? And sometimes you have to just go with your gut on this stuff, you know? And as a result, I took some classes, an online course. As it happened, I got an opportunity to work as an intern at the English Center in Oakland. So I had I was studying in the daytime and working in the night, and I had both aspects of it, which is the ideal setting. You study the theory and you get the practice. So I was working with all these students from different parts of the world, and I just absolutely loved it. I loved it so much, I started taking over the classes that the teachers were doing. Because they said, hey, you can do this. I don't need to, I take care of my other stuff, all right? I did that for about 6 months, and then I just launched myself into the business. Volunteered everywhere for another 6 months. I'm not making any money here, you know? My wife is supporting me, and I'm just sort of just getting by. But one of the things that you find when all of your normal resources come to an end is what you really do value. And all these bills that you sort of accumulated, you suddenly realize you don't need them. I didn't need a car. I was living in Oakland. There's a lot of bus systems. You know, I can get everywhere I want to go. You know? What do I need a car for? Before I was driving a Mercedes. Everywhere, you know, for no reason, just to drive the thing. So I got rid of that expense. I got rid of a whole bunch of expenses. And I suddenly began to realize that I should live within the scope of the monies that I had. It wasn't as much as I had before, but I was actually getting out of it what I wanted. As a result, I got into the ESL business, and then almost by magic, because my desire, my intent was to do that business, it started to happen. Okay? I started picking up jobs in lots of different non-profit organizations, and that's what I do now. I work in about 5 or 6 different non-profit organizations, I'm in charge every day. Every time I go into a classroom, there's no administrator, there's no government looking over my shoulder. I set the agenda, I work with the class, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. And that's what I get to do, because that was my goal. But I only got there because I was flexible, because I was prepared to say to myself, okay, this is not working. I wanted to work, I wanted to be a civil engineer, I wanted to make all those big bucks, but it wasn't working. And it's no good sort of blaming the society and everything else, and there's plenty of reasons that people can come up with for why things don't work. But again, a lot of the times it's because we haven't set our goals properly. So if we are going to be, if we're going to have going to achieve things in life, we have to set that goal. We have to find a way to measure it as we're going through that process towards our goal. And if it doesn't work, have the strength and the courage to change. Because a lot of times, what this is really telling you is you're not doing what you should be doing. Okay? And I don't want to get all spiritual on you, but the point is that we all do have an internal desire to do something, to offer something to the world. Okay? And when we're in that mode, we do it in a way that is free-flowing. Okay? And we all have to find that. Okay? And everybody is different, and everybody does it their own way.